Blog Talk Radio.
Please take all the necessary precautions to protect your Constitution while listening to this broadcast.
3, 2, 1. Coming to you live via the internet. It's time for Rage Against the Regime. Finally, a show for patriots, defending the Constitution and uncovering the truth at every turn, bringing you exclusive interviews and covering the topics the mainstream media doesn't dare to touch. Call in and join the discussion at 929-477-3565. That's 929-477-3565. And now, here are your hosts, Bobby Who's the Man and Becky Williams. Rage Against the Regime.
I'm the man, I'm the man, I'm the man. Yes, I am, yes, I am, yes, I am. I'm the man, I'm the man, I'm the man.
Gathered in their masses, just like witches at black masses. Evil minds that plot destruction, sorcerer of death's construction. In the fields of bodies burning, as the war machine keeps turning, death and hatred to mankind, poisoning their brainwashed minds. Oh Lord, yeah. darkness world stops turning, ashes where the body's burning. No more war pigs have the power, and as God has struck the hour, day of judgment God is calling. On the knees the war pigs crawling, begging mercies for the sins. Satan laughing spreads his wings. Oh Lord, yeah.
Good afternoon. This is Becky Williams coming to you live from Rage Against the Regime radio podcast. Today is Saturday. I do believe our date is the 28th. We've got a glorious day today, 80 degrees. I'm flying solo today. It appears that I don't have any callers on the board, and I'm having some issues with Blog Talk as usual. So I'm just going to kind of recap the day's caption for the show, go over some of the things that are going on. For all you listeners out there, please feel free to call in at 929-477-3565. That's 929-477-3565. Put your hand up by pressing 1. I'll be happy to bring you on to the show and open your mic up and let you go ahead and rage against the regime today on our podcast radio show. We've got a lot of things going on, folks. We've got a Jade Helm, Operation 15, that the regime is bringing to several states, and they seem to be adding states to that on a regular basis. I believe we're up to 9 states at this time, Jade Helm Operation. For those of you who don't understand, don't know what it's all about, it's actually an operation that will be executed, an exercise, if you will, of military-grade exercise. It's going to be conducted in the city limits, towns across America. Have targeted 9 states. It's my understanding that they're working with the local law enforcement. These exercises, I'm told, are supposed to be normal. No lying to you, this is not normal. I've lived a long time, and in this lifetime, I've never, on a scale of a grand scale such as this, have I ever seen an operation by military on the soil in America, where they would be working with local law enforcement, some armed, some unarmed, some with live bullets, some with dummy bullets, heavy-duty equipment, helicopters, Black Hawk helicopters, military vehicles, tanks, you name it. I understand that there are going to be some of these people that are dressed in civilian clothes walking about these towns unbeknownst to the people. And they encourage the folks to call in if they see anything out of the ordinary. A couple things, folks. We believe they're bringing in foreign bodies, soldiers, if you will, to participate in these operations. They're using special forces from all branches of our military, and I'm just not good with it. I'm not good with it. Neither should you be. Right here in America, we shouldn't have to deal with this. Their excuse is it's to train our soldiers up in real-life situations so that they can be deployed into the wars that these warmongers create so that they can fatten their pockets and keep the war machine going. War is a joke. They always fund both sides. They always create the enemy. And they always send the soldiers in to get slaughtered. Now they want to come into America and turn our soldiers and our law enforcement out on us. Our law enforcement has been militarized. Borders are open. They have not been closed. Now with the government giving out the free goodie, income tax up to $7,500, come on over. Because you breed like cockroaches. Doesn't matter if you've ever worked a lick or paid a dime in, we're going to give you a refund. But we're going to harass Americans who busted their ass all their lives to have the things that they have in this friggin' country. And the IRS is going to threaten you and chase you down, little man America, by the likes of the hateful, whoremongering, fear-mongering, inciting, murderous bastards like Al Sharpton and his buddies walk right into our White House and our Congress, our Congressional Mall, invited, arms wide open, owing $5 million in taxes, and that's probably just all we know about it. It's probably much more than that. Incites violence that caused the murders of others, including police officers, white America, the destruction of businesses, and this bastard walks free. Walks right into the White House. In the meantime, I want to get a pass to go in and talk to my Congress. I want a one-day pass for my state Congress at my state capitol. It's going to cost me $109.41 for day pass. They want an application online for that day pass. The application fee is $109.41. $109.41. That's ridiculous, isn't it? Then what they want on that application, they want my Social Security number. They want my last 5 years of residency. They want to know where I've worked. None of your damn business is what it is. All you need to know is that you can look at my driver's license, see that it's current, and I'm a Texas resident. You work for me. Our tax dollars pay for you. You can open the damn door up and you can talk to me. But now they're going to charge me. And like Al Sharpton, guilty of racketeering and murder and incitement and God knows what else, it's no telling, walks right into my White House and into my Congressional Congress for the United States of America. It'll cost him a damn dime. But you let me owe $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, and they're going to threaten to take your property away. They're going to threaten to put you in jail. They're going to garnish your paycheck. You get what I'm saying, America? And that's enough. Enough is enough. That's what we face right here in America. It's ridiculous. And they've got their soldiers on our soil. And once I fill out this application to go into my state capital, get a day pass so I can go in and address the situation that we obviously face, several of them, invasion, war, declared on us. They have the right to refuse my application. They send me to this place called Morpho Trust USA. On top of filling out that application, I have to go to Morpho Trust USA. When I get to Morpho Trust, I get to give them another $9.95. And what is Morpho Trust? That really piqued my curiosity. Well, Morpho, break it down, is owned by Serco. Things are. That's who you folks need to start looking up at Serco if you want to know what the hell's going on with the New World Order. And you want to trace down the 700 heads that you're actually looking for that's trying to create wars and New World Order and all of that. Just do some homework. Check out Serco. I got to go over there and give them another fingerprint because one on my driver's license isn't enough. Serco is biometric. They have the contract. They're not just out of the U.S., they're global. They have a contract for the DMVs, all the driver's license, facial recognition, iris, fingerprints, you name it. That's what they do. They collect all your data information, but they also catch and capture your fingerprints, facial features, your iris, God knows what else, but they capture everything. New World Order, folks. Meanwhile, there's a document out there that was revealed to me by Gene Smith. Gene, if you're out there, give me a call. I need to talk to you. But there's a document out there that gives the DHS, Department of Homeland Security run by the Muslim Brotherhood, that cockroach up in Washington, his buddies. There's a document out there where they have all power to waive the visa or passport for entry for these so-called refugees, i.e. terrorists, that they keep bringing into America through that gateway of hell on the border and flying them in from all over the world, calling them refugees when in fact what they are is terrorists that they're giving our livelihood to and exposing us to the danger right here in America. DHS runs our Border Patrol. DHS is giving them a directive not only to stand down and assist, but if they even attempt to defend their person, if they're attacked physically, fisticuffs, their own two hands, defend their body. If they go before the Internal Affairs Board, lose their job, if they're attacked by one of these foreign invaders. And then not only can they lose their jobs, my understanding, current active duty Border Patrol officer that was giving me this information, that they can also face jail time. So disheartening. So unbelievable. Anyway, DHS, open the floodgates to hell up, remove the internal agents from the border, and told the external agents that they had to assist, not resist. And the new directive now, as of January 1, 2015, is that they can't defend their person, their property, nothing. They can't do anything to defend themselves. People, that's an act of war. That is an act of war. That's exactly what that is. It's my understanding that pig and thief himself, Obama, is out golfing and enjoying living like a king, spends over $1.7 billion a year on average on vacations. We're in the middle of world crisis, talks of nuclear war all over the globe, and the U.S. dollar losing its value. China created their own Banking and Currency for Trade program, I believe it's called CIP. England and Germany have joined Russia and China in this banking. It's going to collapse the American dollar, people. They're already ceasing to use the petrodollar across the board in exchange for oil. We're in trouble. We're in trouble. This is all intentional. All intentional. 75% of your small to medium businesses are owned by immigrants, probably a greater number than that now. You know, they come over here, they give them $6,000 supplement per family. They're breeding like cockroaches. They're giving these huge tax benefits when they haven't paid into our tax system. Our states are being hoarded out. Our government and the states are being hoarded out by way of federal funds. Anytime you take money from a thug, you have to do what that thug tells you to do. That's what federal funding is. It's accepting a bribe to be controlled, to control the population and enslave the population. They're poisoning you with foods every day, GMOs. Your water's poison. They're dropping chemicals in the air that are killing us. They're giving you medication that kills you with purpose, makes you sick. You're a guinea pig. They're no better than the Nazi bastards that used the human beings in World War II as guinea pigs. The most horrific, inhumane things were done at the hands of a bastard child, just like the one that sits in our White House. In fact, he does everything by that plan, that playbook, that Nazi playbook. We're in serious trouble, America. We're in even more trouble because we have Americans out there who keep screaming about a Second Amendment right. We have the right. Second Amendment says so. We can bear our arms. It's our right. Tired of them taking my right. Well, shut up and sit down, please. Really? What the hell are you going to do with the right? All you know is you have the right to bear arms. If you knew exactly what it meant, you'd be up doing something. This shit wouldn't be taking place. We would not be where we are today if the patriots alone in America took care of business and used those arms for exactly the reason that was written into the Constitution to use them, which is against a tyrannical government. Tyrants. Stop telling me what great contestants we have, or candidates, rather, for the presidential run. Quit telling me how great Trey Gowdy is and Cruz is. Stop it. Stop it. Understand the U.S. Code for misprision of treason. Understand the codes for treason, the penalties under law that was written by our founding fathers. You know the ones that are teaching your children are terrorists while they tell us how great Muhammad was, what a kind man he was. The whole time he's stroking a 9-year-old baby, sexually molesting her. What a kind man. It's being taught to your children in Common Core. Jihad fighters are just freedom fighters. Patriots are terrorists now. We're painted as they said number 3 is enemy, biggest threat, terrorists, scum, our soldiers come back, our vets have been mistreated. America, I'm pretty angry. I'm angry. I lose sleep over this every night. I try to find resolution, find a solution, try to motivate people, do everything that I can to try to get you folks understanding. You can hold on one moment. I've got a caller calling in.
I'll just do as long as I can.
All right. I've got Rudy on. Oh, Jesus Christ. Rudy, you know what it did? It bumped me. No, we're back on Rage. I'm having so many problems with the board here. Area code 602. Who's calling in?
That'd be me, Karen.
Hey, Karen, how are you doing, sis? Rudy says he's having a hard time coming in. Did you have a hard time getting in the show today?
No, not at all.
Rudy couldn't get in. He keeps calling me on my phone. I've got him tied in. Say hi, Rudy. I got Karen on it. Finally, somebody's joining me on the show.
Hello, Karen. How you doing today?
Hey, you're good.
Man, Rudy, I'm just so irritated and aggravated. I woke up dead straight out of a nap. I got up at 3 o'clock this morning. That I keep going to sleep about 11, waking up by 3. Couldn't go back to sleep as usual. Laid down and took a nap, and I woke up exactly 2 minutes before I had to open the board up. And you're like the 7th person that's told me they can't get through on the board. So I was just ranting and raving about some of the shit that we're in. The Jade Helm thing. Obama has decided that Iran and Hezbollah are no longer on the terrorist list.
Oh, yeah, you got to love that, huh? You know, we seem to have aligned ourselves with Iran, with Palestine, with the Muslim Brotherhood, you know, all the major key players in the world, while everybody else is jumping ship and siding with Russia and China. We all didn't see that coming, seeing as we have the person that we do in charge of us, and, of course, the long list of patriots there just waiting to uphold the Constitution. I don't know, you know, I want to say that our military has got all the assets in the world to go ahead and enforce the Constitution. I just don't see why they're not doing it. Can you?
No, I really can't, brother. I'm baffled by it all. I know he's removed over 3,000 leaders in our military. Where are those 3,000? And why the hell haven't they risen up and raised up an army of people to go stop this crazy bullshit, you know? Karen, do you have any idea, you know, where these people might be and how come nobody's stepping up? I mean, we know why Congress isn't.
Well, you know, I'm hopeful, but I'm not counting on it, that they're just laying low and, you know, because they don't want to bring attention to themselves. When the time comes, they will step up. But I'm not going to count on that. I think it's just going to be a matter of it's going to be every man, woman for themselves. You know, it really is.
Yeah.
Because even if this military exercise, these drills, were just that, there's no reason for them in American cities. There's no reason. They've got their own training facilities. They got that mock city in Virginia. They don't need them in our streets. That alone is an act of war against us.
Yeah,
you know?
And if you guys aren't familiar with Posse Comitatus, that's supposed to defend and protect us from our own military working with our law enforcement agencies and foreign troops on our soil and turning against the civilians or operating in such a manner in communities that they are going to execute in this Jade Helm 15, and they continue to add cities and states. I watched a video this morning that Thomas Mick, I believe, was the one who put it up. No, I apologize. It was another gentleman out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and they captured the operation that had taken place there in the middle of the night. It showed those soldiers taking civilians, supposedly this is an exercise, you guys, taking civilians and going in, putting them under arrest and marching them down the street. So you tell me what the hell's going on. You tell me what they're doing.
Oh, yeah, I believe I shared that video as well. A gentleman out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. All that is, well, as you can see, Operation Jade Helm has got to do with Delta Force, Special Forces, Rangers, SEALs, 4th Recon, and I guess the Air Force Pararescue. All that tells me is if they're going to train over here, it coincides with anything that they did in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. All it is UH-60 Blackhawks. What they're doing, and they also have Pablos, they carry Delta Force around. You know what it is Delta Force, Special Forces, part of a detachment. You know, they are known as a surgical unit, and the Rangers are a precision unit. All that means is they land on the top of the rooftops, they clear the building or house or whatever it is they're at from the top down, while the Rangers pull security around the block. They don't let nobody in or out. They go and they do what's called an extraction. They go and they take whoever they want to that's on their list, and they go ahead and they already have a set plan in place to tax these people away from that location. And then once it's done, they either fast rope out, or it's called a fast rope insertion/extraction. And they can just hook onto a cable and be out of there and move on to the next building, or they just stay there and they ride out in civilian vehicles. And that's common practice. And I'd like to add a little something as well in order to make sure that they're carrying out said operations. I'm going to go ahead and say, based on previous experiences, that they might have eyes on them just hovering around, like cameras and stuff, drone equipment. Drones that are equipped with cameras, and that's very easy to just keep an eye on everybody, making sure everybody executes. If not, there's always a plan B, a quick reaction force that will be notified if things are going bad either way. It's pretty much what we call standard operating procedures, and if there's anybody else that has any more information that somehow or another that they've deviated over the years, please call in and let us know. But as it stands, to my recollection, that's exactly how it's carried out. With that being said, I yield.
Well, let me ask you a question, brother. You're a vet. You're a soldier. In your lifetime, have you ever seen or heard of military operation this big happening across the board in America at the same time and taking 3 months to execute?
No, nothing like that of that magnitude. We call that a deployment or rotation, depending on the situation. But also, when we do train in the States, we train in mock cities. They go and other soldiers play the bad guys, and then there's your whoever's getting the good training in, they go and they play the good guys and stuff like that. And you never ever do it in the city because soldiers are different than civilians. They have to be kept separate. This has gone out throughout the test of time. They live in their own compounds by the reservations. They live near the bases for those who are married and live on post or have that privilege. But if anything goes down, everybody's called to the base, and nobody's allowed in or out. And there's a reason for that. It's called operational security, and we can't intermingle with the civilian population, and for good reason. The security of this great country relies on that. We operate differently than the civilian. We're not like cops. We're not like regular law enforcement. We're not like ambulance and first responders, such as people that work for the fire department. That's all great, but the military is a whole separate entity. To intertwine them like that, you're just asking for trouble. And there's just no way about it. The Supreme Court's got all these crazy rulings coming out, and that's going to draw a lot of mixed feelings from the public. What do we do? And then I got to we seem to be pretty good at confusing people. And just remember this: all these laws are passing that are not good, that go against the Constitution. The history repeats itself. Even in the Bible, they made it a law against praying, and they wanted to punish those who were praying to God with their windows open. And whenever you see laws like that, what are you going to do? You're going to obey God, or are you going to obey the government? It's up to you individually, and a lot of people are feeling left out on the cold. They don't know what to think. They're fearful for their families, and with good reason. People in this lifetime have never encountered such a thing, and let me let you know that you're not alone. You're not alone. There are many people out there feeling that, and don't be scared to step up to the plate. Because I assure you, your neighbor is probably doing the same thing you are. Nobody wants to speak out about it, but go ahead, make it a topic. Speak out in public. You'd be surprised how many other people are scared to say something. But once people start stepping out of the shadows, they're going to realize they've got a general public on their hands who are not just concerned citizens, but we're vets, first responders, And for the next generation coming up, they're going to be able to take to this like a duck to water. So with that being said, I hopefully everybody does the right thing and is not scared. You just know that everybody else has to go about the change that's being brought about. We don't know what's going to lie for tomorrow, but we can't just stand there and let it happen. We're going to have to stand up, step up to the plate, and say, no, get the hell out of here. You're here for a reason. Matter of fact, you work for us. We're going to cut your paycheck. Sorry, buddy. And you'll be surprised. One person to the next, another person will rise up, another person will rise up, and then it goes like that.
I know there's a call for the militias across the board in these states to get their collective shit together, for lack of better terminology, and to also exercise their right to carry arms and make their presence known in these cities while these operations are going on. What do you think that's going to cause? What kind of resistance do you think they're going to receive?
I think they're just going to go and take their weapons from them. That's all it is. When it really goes down, we're just going to have to rely on all our veterans who are actually seeing combat or trained, and they're going to step up to the plate. And whether they're part of the militia or not, when it comes down to it, you're going to see these, what they're going to think are lone wolves, but they're going to be veterans out there. And that's why they put veterans on the domestic terror list, because history will repeat itself. And when you're there teasing a dog, he's tied up, you might just get pissed off and break that chain and come at you.
Right.
A lot of people were, I can tell you, be honest, you don't want to be so quick to run a war, but it appears that it's inevitable. And we have been the attack dog for the rest of the world. They've been using us, pulling our strings as they see fit. But that's why the whole world is coming after us, coming and trying to take us apart methodically, piece by piece, law by law, chipping away at everything, every aspect of life, everything you can think about. They're doing it. They're working on it, and people are not really caring. They want us. Hey, there's stuff going on at Walmart. Let's go to Walmart. Whatever the case may be. But when the sparks start flying, when the bullets start flying, and there's sparks everywhere, and firecrackers going off like crazy, there's gonna be. You'll see even old guys stepping up to the plate with nothing to lose. Or Vietnam vets that are still old and older, I bet you they'll step up to the plate. All these other new DHS, badge-wearing, crackerjack eating sons of mothers, they ain't got nothing, a damn thing. They're going to find out. That's not what they signed up for. They're going to find out real quick because they're a police force.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree 100%. This is from the research we've done, Rudy, and you've worked with me. Karen, you've worked with me. There's several others out there that have worked with me. We've done our homework. We've researched. We're looking to see what may be a false flag, what may not be, and they try to keep us on our toes. Meanwhile, the Muslim piece of shit that's usurped the White House and his little band of thieves, he's out on another vacation. He's golfing over, and I believe he's in Rome, exercising his right to drain the American bank account one more time, averaging $1.7 billion in vacations in his first 4 years, and now well over $2 billion a year for he and his she, and children and his mother-in-law to fly all over the globe and enjoy these lavish vacations. Meanwhile, they starve our children to death in our schools. I mean, it's to the degree that Michelle Obama is dictating your children's caloric intake, rather, in their school lunches, and they're policing the sack lunches that are being taken in by the children and finding the parents $10, $15, $20 for not meeting the criteria that Michelle has set for nutrition for children. I've got a 16, well, he's not 16 yet, but he'll be 16 soon, athlete, my godson, 6'3", sports, basketball, football, track, And she wants to feed him less than 500 calories in a lunch that costs $3.50 for a couple of chicken nuggets, a couple of carrots on the plate, and a piece of broccoli, and a half of pint of low-fat milk. I mean, that's how ridiculous this has gotten. They're trying to dictate what we're feeding our children. They're trying to enforce mandatory vaccinations. I've got a grandson who is autistic because of vaccinations. It's been proven that that is most likely the cause of Ethan's inability to function as a normal human being. You know, he's incapacitated to a degree. It's going to cause him grief all his life. He's never going to have a normal life. He's antisocial. He doesn't like affection. He doesn't learn the way other people retain knowledge. He's incapable of doing that. He's 9, 10 years old, and he can't even spell his name without it looking like a toddler or a baby at the age of 4 or 5 years of age in pre-K, learning how to spell their name. You know how angry that makes me? Do you have any idea how angry that makes me? They give a $2,000 allocation for each foreign invader's child to sit in a seat in the state of Texas in the schools here. I don't know what they charge. The government's given it's a bonus for having them in the classroom. They're not vaccinated. They're not made to take vaccination. The parents have come across here. DHS has waived all checks, background checks. They don't need a visa. They don't need a passport to come into my country. To try to avoid or make it a law, call an amnesty for these invaders that they've ushered in here. The government thinks that they can avoid a charge of treason for declaring war on a country just by a flick of his magic wand, his pen. You know, he can write an executive order and call for amnesty across the board. I mean, what the hell is that? What is that? I mean, am I the only one that's pissed off? Am I the only one that's angry? They won't supply a proper learning environment for my autistic grandson. Can't get help from the insurance companies. They won't put a teacher in place that teaches specifically autistic children. They throw them into this little circle called special education, where children of every disability are thrown into a room and babysat, essentially. There's no way to nurture them and to teach them on a scale that they need to be taught on because they each have individual needs. And our schools won't spend the money, our states won't spend the money on those programs, but they'll give $2,000 additional funding to the Board of Education for every foreign invader that is sitting in a seat in our classrooms in Texas. That's tragic to me, and it angers me beyond belief. That's just one of the things that, you know, I bitch and rage about. Karen, sister, across the board, what's your take on the Jade Helm? On the Jade Helm 15. I mean, what's your personal concerns?
My personal concern is that it's not a drill. It may not be full scale, but it's going to be small scale, and they're going to do exactly what the drill is speaking of. You know, they are going to take people. I do believe they're going to arrest people because they've already practiced this somewhere else, but now they need to actually implement it. That's my feel on that. And what you were saying about the school lunches.
Yeah.
I think there's a reason for the little paltry school lunches they're giving the kids. They're getting them used to not having food.
Yeah, I believe that as well. But I also know this. When a child is not nourished properly, they become lethargic. They're less inclined to learn. They're easier to dictate over or brainwash, if you will. Not to mention their bones and their muscles and their organs are not developing properly because of the inability to thrive. You know, if I starve my child at home like that, CPS is going to come in and take them away from them. That's a whole other show I'm doing tomorrow. CPS Sundays will be specifically for CPS issues. I'll be on with the National Director of Vocal Mary Tyndall and Matthew Virgin and Greg Bacon, and some of the others are going to be joining me every Sunday on the CPS child trafficking and corruption that we're seeing going on in CPS. But at the end of the day, Karen, if I'm starving my child and they cannot thrive properly, CPS is going to come in and get me. They're going to come in and get me. They're going to come in and get my child. Am I correct?
Yeah, they sure are.
So
but
we've got we've got a dictator up there though that wants to starve our children and deprive them throughout the day. You know, every child is different, and as I stated, I've got an athlete. He's 6'3". He needs 4,000 or 5,000 calories a day. He goes to practice in the morning. He has to attend school all day. Then he has his practice after school. He has games every week. He has games after he has practice, sometimes after school, in another area of sport. And he's not getting what he needs unless I take it to him. And it's very hard for me. His mom works out of town, so it's hard for me to have to break in my busy day and take him, a decent lunch so that I know he's getting the calories that he needs to function.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what their overall, well, we know what their overall plan is. But, I mean, the way that what's doing is they're taking away more and more, what's the word I'm looking for? Our ability to control our own lives and our children's lives. They're taking it from us by increments, and they're just pushing their agenda over and over again on everybody.
Well, I'll tell you what, we better do something. We better do it quick. I've got a couple other hands up here. Let's bring in area code 214. Area code 214, your mic's open. Who's calling in?
Hey, Becky, it's Connie.
Hey, Connie, how you doing, sister?
Hanging in there, girl.
Oh,
on that Him 15, I got a post from, oh, Lord. I believe it's very much true, and I believe they're going to show Texas what they can do if we don't conform. I believe our Governor Abbott, I believe he realizes the danger we're in because they was doing paratroop shoots, the National Guard this weekend in Denison.
Yeah, I
don't think
that.
it has.
I saw that.
Uh-huh.
Do you think that
post I got was from
Go ahead. Go ahead, sis.
I believe Abbott is getting the National Guard ready. I might be totally off key, but I don't believe they're part of this military training. The Daily UK, they posted about this, and there's one paragraph. You read all the way through it, and it's basically, they're saying there's nothing. You read that one paragraph where the military personnel believes there's more to it than what we're being told.
Well, I believe that too, and it is making international news. It's gaining recognition across the globe, and that alone is enough to tell you need to worry about it.
Where there's smoke, there's going to be fire.
Well, absolutely, and I believe I'm probably on that list of individuals that they think they're going to come in and pick up. And you notice I said think. I'm not going to go anywhere willingly. I'll stand and fight where I am, and I'll die where I stand. I don't have a problem fighting back. And I think the government knows that, and I believe that people like myself that speak out, that make a difference, that can reach 13,000, 14,000 people on shows like this, on live calls that tell the truth, call a dog, I believe they're going to see what kind of resistance they get, and they're working with the local law enforcement, because if they use the local law enforcement to enforce the arrest, they're trying to circumvent what's left of the posse comitatus. That's my opinion, based on what I'm witnessing, what I'm watching unfold across the border with our military. He thinks that if he changes the definition of a word, that it is so. I mean, he thinks he actually has that kind of power, and we've allowed this to happen.
Well, it's going to be a fight
board.
before we get him out of the White House.
Well, I do believe that to be true, and I'm really pushing for secession, but I do believe that we're at a point where we can no longer continue to approach secession in the manner that we've been approaching it to our legislators.
Right.
And our governor. I believe at this point it needs to be a demand. I believe that we need to let our government in Texas know that we're going to stand behind them. I believe that we need to step it up and get the militia groups regulated according to the... Pardon?
I totally agree. We need to demand, not ask for a bill to be passed. We need to demand. Our lives are in danger. Future generations are in danger.
Right. And you know, I realize there's going to be a whole bunch of people out there. They think I'm a radical, crazy old bitch, but I'm not. I'm just, you know, I saw it coming before we got here. And I'm not crazy. I just don't deliver things real well anymore because I'm not running for office. I'm just going to be a normal human being, and I'm going to speak out. I'm going to do it whatever manner I need to do it in order to get these people to understand we're in trouble. You know, I feel like Paul Revere every damn day. You know, I'm out here screaming and screaming and screaming, and I'm trying to alert the village that they're coming. Well, I don't need to alert you that they're coming. They're here. Now I'm trying to tell you they're here.
Same way. I posted over to, you seen that post, and, you know, they're not concerned about it. Well, anytime there's you see a military vehicle on the highway, that's not an everyday deal, especially what we're hearing, you know, coming. I mean, I don't want you to panic. I just want you to pay attention. I mean, we can't go to our militant groups with what we're seeing. Then do we go the sewing circle?
Yeah, you're correct on that. And you know, it's not pretty. The truth isn't always pretty. I mean, if you have a cheating spouse, nobody wants to hear the truth. They want to know the details, but they don't really want to know it. And we're kind of in that situation. That's the best parable I can use. We've got a cheating spouse in the White House, and we've got a whole bunch of bridesmaids up there and groomsmen that are following suit. We need to stop the madness, you know. I was telling Rudy and Karen and the rest of the listeners before I finally got people were able to get through on the board because, you know, they like to sanction our show. The NSA and the government have a real good time messing with Bobby and I on Rage Against the Regime. I had absolutely no interaction on my board, which is a never, unless I'm having issues with Blog Talk. Rudy couldn't get through. So I tied him in on a three-way call. But, I mean, you know, we've got individuals out here, Connie, screaming about their First Amendment rights, these right-to-carry groups, walking up and down the street with their weapons, and God bless them. I appreciate everything they do, but here's the deal. I'm sick and tired of hearing people scream about their Second Amendment right when they have absolutely zero intention of using it for the reasons it was written.
Amen, Becky. Amen.
And yes, and you know, yes, we need to protect our homes and our property, and people around here know full well that I find somebody out here breaking my car, messing my $20,000 motorcycle, or trying to get in my front or back door. My sleep pattern's so screwed up that the probability is they're going to get shot because I'm not going to call a cop first. I'm going to go ahead and take care of my business. You know, if my life is threatened, I'm going to take care of my business. I'll call a police officer after the fact because that's my right to do so. And I'm a woman, you know. I want to go stand toe-to-toe with you. Although I'm capable, I don't want to have to do that. It's much easier for me to handle my business and protect myself with a weapon. Now, with that said, we have all these groups out here and all these keyboard warriors talking about how badass they are and what they're going to do, and they're not doing anything but sitting on the computer talking about it. It's lip service, like a spouse telling you they love you and they're dragging your best friend into your bed when you run down to the grocery store. You know, that's what it's like to me. It's that infuriating to me. I don't want lip service. I want to see some action. And when I say action, I'm not trying to incite a war. Nobody wants to see a damn war on our soil. I've got children. I don't want to see their brains scattered all over the country.
But we're going to.
I don't want to see. Pardon me. I know that. I know that. But what I am saying is, you know, I got people right here in Texas telling us that I've been told more than one time by the independence groups, Becky, we don't need to worry about what's going on in Washington. We need to focus on Texas. Well, I beg to differ. And this is the reason why. Jada Helm, 15. Look at it. That's coming out of Washington. Now it's being imposed in my state. You know, it costs $109.41 for me to apply for a day pass if they want to know my entire criminal history and my employment history for 5 years, my residential history for 5 years, if I have ever been treated for drug or alcohol problems, and blah, 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 blah. And then it's a non-refundable fee. After I apply, then I have to go down to a separate facility. My driver's license isn't enough. They can't just run it through a scanner like they do when I go in and out of the country at the airport. Yes, they could, but that's not enough for them. They want me to pay another $10 to an agency that's called Morpho Trust. That's a global agency. There's nothing more than an information gathering my DNA, my fingerprints, my iris, picture of my iris, my facial recognition. You know what I'm saying? Then I got to go through all of that to get in to talk to my legislators. What the hell is that, Connie? What is that? You can't get an audience with your local.
We are living in the UN.
Yes, you can't go into your local congressman's office anymore like you used to be able to, and have a captive audience with your local representative. You've got to go through and fill out an application, little survey thing by email, and then you have to wait to hear back.
You could walk in there.
Absolutely. I mean, why do I have to ask for an appointment to see my congressman if they're in and nobody's in the office with them? I realize they have things to do, but I am that thing to do. You represent me. I am that business that you need to tend to that day. And if I walk into your office and you're back there in it, and you don't have someone that you're doing business with, another individual, a citizen that's walked in that door that wants to talk to you about their concerns, why the hell do I have to go through all of this just to go in and talk to somebody?
They make it so tough you can't.
Well, they want to frustrate the majority of what they don't realize is there's people like you and me and some of the others that we're not going to just get frustrated and stop trying. I'm tired of the generic letters. I'm tired of the petitions. They get filed in a
just go away and
can.
Shut up.
Yeah, absolutely. Or you have some flunky when you call Washington, who's some little intern who's been briefed that morning on the most likely things that are going to be subjects that people are going to call in about and how to field that call, and it never makes it to a senior advisor. You don't speak to a senior advisor. Hell, I've never spoken to a senior advisor right here in the state of Texas when I call in with my concerns. I called the governor's office on a daily basis. Hell, they know who I am up there. I can make as soon as I say hello, they know who I am. What do you need today, Miss Williams? Well, the same damn thing I needed yesterday. Do something about such and
you
such.
sign petition after petition, and it goes no place. It goes to .gov. And from there, it goes into the shredder.
I propose that we have been... I hate to say this. I really do, and I wish it wasn't true, because I have so much more in my life that I could be doing than what I'm doing today and every day. I'm at an age where I should be on the downhill slide. I should be enjoying life and doing the things that, we work so hard and work for to work toward in our youth. But, reality, God has put me where he has put me. He's given me the platform he's given to me, and now I have to do something constructive with it and to try to do it in a positive manner. I believe that our state government, by way of federal funding, anytime that we let me put it a different way. Okay, you know how the industry of insurance was actually created? Is anybody out there, Karen, Rudy, do you guys know how insurance was created?
Well, yeah, because this is interesting. You know how we have a certificate of, well, let's just for instance, for our vehicles, we have the certificate of title. It's telling us that there's a title, but we don't have it, and the state actually has the title, and that's why there's mandatory insurance, because the state doesn't want to be held liable if we get in an accident.
Okay, so here's what you have. You have a corrupt, organized crime ring. Let's just say the mafia, for lack of better terminology, because we all know what they are and who they are. And in the beginning, when this country was built, we had immigrants, criminals that came over from several nations, and they would go into a store, the storekeeper, and they'd start breaking his shit, tearing up his supplies. And then they'd threaten him, scare the hell out of him, and say, from now on, you're going to give me X amount of money every week, and we're going to assure you that this is not going to happen again. When they're the very people who are creating the havoc. That's what we're under. Anytime you take federal funds into a state, you are dictated, your government is dictated, everything is regulated at a federal level. We take billions of dollars, and this is like the pea and shell game. We get, let's just say, $134 billion. Texas gets $134 billion federal funding. At the end of the year, we have to pay back $136 billion because we've got to pay our fees, right? We've got to pay our taxes. And they're giving us this great tax break. Well, no. Now let's look at this realistically. They're giving us $134 billion. We're giving them $136 billion at the end of the day, on top of the other taxation that the states incur for many things. I'd say that's a lose-lose situation. And now you dictate my Congress. Now you're dictating my governor. Now you're dictating the rules and regulations of my state that are supposed to be sovereign, and they just become federal rules and regulations. So we're being hoarded out for money. It looks good. Yeah, we got $134 billion. No, we didn't. We got absolutely nothing. They gave us some money, but we had to give all of it right back, and then we had to pay the penalty of $2 billion more on top of that. So essentially, we're at a deficit at the end of the year. I mean, it's Math 101. If it was Common Core math, of course, that would be a huge huge example on paper that would take up a notebook, for one equation. But we're hoarded out, and our federal regulations that have a chokehold on our state across the board are unacceptable. And I would propose that we are guilty because there's a U.S. code concerning aiding and abetting. And in the event of a felony being committed in front of you, you have the obligation, not just the right to, but the obligation, if the felony is being committed in front of you, make a citizen's arrest. And I'm walking around here every day, and I should be arresting every damn person that doesn't speak English. And I know for a fact has come across that border. I should be arresting them on a daily basis. But as soon as I turn them over, what's going to happen to me? As soon as I arrest them, they're going to slap me with kidnapping charge, unlawful arrest. I'm going to go to jail. The police are going to just let them go, get back in their vehicle and go on down the road. What do we do, people? Please, somebody help me. What do we do?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I believe you're trying to uphold the law and enforce it. It's going to be used against you in some way or another. Just being a concerned citizen, exercising your everyday rights, somehow or another, they're going to turn that against you and make you look like a bad person for enforcing the laws that this country was founded on. And you got to realize that all these laws that are taking effect are going against the grain, going against everything that we stood for And, you know, where do we stand? Are we standing on which side of the tracks are we standing on? Are we on the good side or the bad side? Sooner or later, we're going to be on the bad side because they're going to outlaw everything that's good, and everybody's going to be pro-bad. You know, you're doing bad. That's, you know, you just committed a crime. It's okay. You're entitled to it. You were born a minority. You were born. This is what you're entitled to. This is what these other people owe you, and it's all out of ignorance. And where are you going to draw the line? You know, everybody wants to stand up and do what's good, and nobody wants to go outside the law and break the law. Sooner or later, they're going to make laws against their own existence. Sooner or later.
You know, you're right, Rudy. You're absolutely correct. But, you know, I'm guilty. You're guilty. We're all guilty right now of treason against our neighbors and ourselves. We are, because it clearly states not to aid and abet a foreign invader. And it clearly states that if a law enforcement officer refuses to arrest officials that are aiding and abetting foreign invasion, then they face a federal felony. So what we're doing is we're allowing ourselves to break our own laws by not imposing those laws and executing them as we should. And then we have law enforcement who refuse to do so by direction of a usurper that sits up in the White House and a band of thugs. They're no more than, you know what they are? They're a group of communist mafia. I mean, for lack of a better way to describe them, they're a bunch of criminals. They're a bunch of thugs. Hell, many of them, even our Department of Justice, DOJ, Eric Holder, is a convicted felon with an arms charge, kidnapping. And he's our Department of Justice. He has control over law enforcement across the board. He's got control of the judicial. He's the head chair of the judiciary in this country. I mean, Jesus Christ, people. That's who's sitting up there. We've got somebody who's sitting as POTUS, never served a day in the military. He's not an American citizen. He's not a natural-born citizen either. That's his real mother, like, I don't know, my mom was black. Okay. No. That's all smoke and mirrors. Everything about him has been hidden. They've given us a paper trail to chase, and it's all lies. Well, he's from the House of Saudi. He's a Middle Eastern Saudi Arabian bastard. And he's sitting up there running our country. And he had his law license stripped. They say he surrendered them. He had to surrender them or he was going to face charges. You know, criminal charges for abuse. Now, I mean, do y'all think we're going to see a revolution here by force? I don't think anybody wants to start it or it would have been started. But in your opinion, are you looking at things the way I am? Are we being backed into a corner where we're going to have to fight? When we finally do, it's going to be too late.
Yep.
So some will fight. Others will abide by the law, of course. And they'll be demonized and scrutinized. And I just find it ironic that, to me, I think Obama was born in what's called modern-day Kenya, which back in 1961, if he was born in 1961, that was actually a territory of England, of the United Kingdom. Yeah. And coincidentally, so is the corporate headquarters of the United States of America, or part of England. And so is Canada, which coincidentally, Ted Cruz is from Canada. Wow. Yeah, cool. I don't know. It just seems weird to me because a while back I mentioned something about Canada and Mexico, you know, partnering up with China and Russia. And coincidentally for Russia, the fastest way to the United States is through Canada. And Russia's talking about arming Mexico. It's like, does anybody feel the news get tighter than me? Or, you know, they both have strong navies. They've established that. And I believe when China's Prime Minister came to visit Barack Obama, you know, their navy was in our waters. Didn't do nothing about it. Barack Obama said something about them still in our military plans for the prototypes of advanced weaponry. did nothing about it, really. You know, it's just like, I don't know, it just seems too coincidental. Everything's too coincidental. And you know me, I don't believe in coincidence. I believe they're going to present us with a couple of people that are going to be, quote, running for president, and we're going to have to do like we've always done, vote for the lesser of two evils. And I don't think nobody's going to win there.
Well,
what do you think?
Yeah, you're right. We're not going to be able to vote it out, and I hear that terminology all the time. Vote the lesser. Well, it's the lesser of two evils. Why the hell do you want to establish evil again? Why do you want to give validation to the evil and allow it to continue? Listen, everybody in Congress at this point is guilty of treason. They're not just guilty of misprision. They're guilty of treason. Gene Smith does a lot of financial homework, and it turns out that we don't even have control of our own federal money. There is a foreign management company, much like ICLEI, that is controlling the local municipalities, which is a part of the Agenda 21. It's a foreign company, comes in and manages your utilities and taxes, and they, too, dictate what goes on with your city council and your mayor and your local municipalities. They have oversight over your judges. They control the homeowners associations. They control management of the taxation on property and business. You know, it's all been turned over to a foreign entity or organization. Now, this simply means this. They tell Congress what Congress is going to do with the money, and Congress is good with that. They go ahead and they say this is going to go here, this is not going to go here, and then it's out of their hands. They don't truly have control of the purse strings of the federal funds, and we have a lot of fiat debt that they're trying to make us believe is real. We're you know, first of all, they inflate and deflate numbers in order to serve political purpose. The media dictates how the people think based on the content of the news they deliver. Anytime they give you something that Dwayne Cooper is out there, listen, I love my patriot brothers and sisters, but I hate the ones that are always out there trying to be glory whores and trying to make it look like you really need to be concerned, you trust my judgment kind of thing. People aren't doing their homework. He's out there putting out a map about the likelihood of nuclear attack on American soil by cities to the degree of, 500 warheads or 2,000 warheads. First of all, where the hell did you get your information? And if the media put it out, it's nothing more than fear-mongering. They're only going to tell you what they want you to know in order to distract you from what you really need to be paying attention to. You see? And,
I had a guy yesterday tell me, don't pay attention to what the American news is telling you. You look at your foreign news.
I always watch the foreign news. I watch BBC and some of the other foreign news channels.
Right.
And I watch One America, and I still take One America, with a grain of salt. You guys, we've got a gentleman that never comes on that I always ask to come on. His brother, I'm going to open up the mic and get some input from Mr. Slather. Hey, I've got 251. The mic is open. Can you introduce yourself, Will? 251. Well, now I've got the death circle, so we're going to have a little issue here. Just give me a minute, Will. I'm trying to get your mic open. I've clicked on it to open you up, and I've got a death circle here. It's not opening up your mic yet. I am trying to unmute you, though, sir. I asked Will to call back in. He sent me a message on Facebook that he was on, and I didn't recognize his hand up. Jesus. Well, Will, if you could you hang up and call back again, sir, because the death circle is not going to stop when I'm trying to unmute your mic. If you could just hang up and call right back in, I do apologize. Thank you, sir. All right, he's going to call us back because he heard me. He dropped off. But we have so many things that are going on. I mean, you've got Obama bringing in thousands, hundreds of thousands of Muslims. He's calling them refugees. I'm going to go ahead and call them what they are. His foreign invasion by way of the government on the American people. He's using the refugee clause, which they've been doing to the tune of over 100 million now. since 1973 into America. But why Christians? Why Judeo-Christians? Christians across the board, not even just the whites, but Christians, period, are being slaughtered all over the world by these Muslim pigs that he's bringing in and calling refugees, trying to make you think that we can coincide or coexist, rather, with Islam. We cannot. And we'll get into that later. But anyway, have you guys seen him bring any plane loads of Christians in or announce that that's what he's doing? I mean, they're being murdered over there. They're being slaughtered. Syria, Iraq, Iran, Saudi Arabia. You got an imam over there saying that all the churches need to be destroyed and directing the government in Saudi Arabia to do so. I mean, I have a real concern about that. Why do we not have Christian refugees being named as such, and why are they not being brought here for asylum? All right,
yeah.
Bill, I've got your mic open, brother. I appreciate that. They like to give me some grief here.
I've been trying to hammer this for a while. Is it okay on speakerphone?
Yeah, yes, sir. You're fine.
All right, good. So, what's going? Hey, we need to keep this at the grassroots level. Don't you agree? I mean, you need to take care of your own backyard before you try taking care of everybody else's backyard. Is that not true?
I agree.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm saying.
So I've got
Texas,
on my block, I'm at the very end of a dead end street, and I've got this one gentleman up here on the corner. He's got a very nice house. Oh, by the way, he's black, and I trust him to be the dude who just takes care of this neighborhood. I mean, he watches everything that comes in and out. And I'm the last house on the left. Don't want to be naming a movie there. And it's just, we need to keep this at the grassroots level. I mean, you need to take care of your own backyard before you go on taking care of everybody else's.
Right.
Is that not true?
No. I agree 100%.
I mean, we need to start at the grassroots level and just work our way up, and we take care of our own backyard, and then everybody else take care of their own backyard. I mean, rather than trickle-down economics, it's trickle-up economics.
Let me ask you a question, Will. Have you guys gotten with your local law enforcement and let them know that you want to establish your own neighborhood watch and that you are a group of people? Or are you identifying yourself like that? And if you aren't, would you think that would be a bad idea?
No. Neighborhood watch is an excellent idea. I mean, you need to get out there and meet your neighbors, okay? You need to get off those games you're playing on your computer and get out there and meet your neighbors, go out there and mow your lawn and, meet them. I mean, my neighbor over here, when I first moved into this house, and I had my hands full trying to take care of it, he would come over here and he'd blow out the leaves and stuff like that, and then I finally got myself a leaf blower and I'd take care of my stuff. And we just take care of each other. That's what we got to do.
I agree with you, and in my neighborhood we have Crime Watch, and that's the same thing. It's a neighborhood watch program where we we keep an eye out for each other, and that's understood. I know that a lot of these Crime Watch programs that they have in place are actually your local municipalities want you to register with them. Why they want you to register, I do not know. And that's why I was asking if you think it's a good thing or a bad thing.
Well, I like to keep in touch with my neighbors who are cops. I have plenty of neighbors who are cops. Do I need to accept this or decline this? Okay, you there?
I can hear you.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here, brother.
Now, something else come in on my phone, and I had to decline it, so I was still on the line with you. I get along with my neighbors. I have black neighbors. I have middle neighbors. I have white neighbors. We just all try to get along. I mean, we're all Americans, okay?
Make a left on County Road 79.
I have no idea what that is.
Sound like CB.
Yeah, I agree with the whole neighborhood watch thing. However, I was wondering, do you guys got anything in place, any way to signal each other, like a ham radio or any kind of communication to alert the rest of the neighbors should something go wrong? I was just curious of that, so maybe you could share some of that with us.
Are you a ham operator?
No, that's why I want some input. I want some advice on how to go about this in case I try to go in and mimic what you guys are doing over there. I want to know what's in place and what works and what doesn't. Maybe so if you share that with the rest of us, I'm sure it'll catch like wildfire.
They still have ham radios out there. I mean, I've been labeled as one that is not going to survive this if it does turn to stuff hits the fan. And you ham operators, you need to maintain your equipment and just continue with what you like best.
Yeah. So I was just wondering, maybe as we're setting up these neighborhood watches, we can find a way to alert each other in the neighborhood, and not just that, if something just goes wrong and they need assistance, is there some type of quick reactionary force? Or I know, like down in South Africa, a guest was mentioning how all the farmers in the area would come to each other's aid, and this lady had her husband murdered, so on and so forth. She made a call to the farmers, and they were able to take out the bad guys. Unfortunately, they all got arrested, or they got arrested for shooting the bad guys, because that's the way it's happening in South Africa. But she made a very good point. You have to rely on your neighbor. And obviously, nobody can stay up 24/7. And if you're at the end of one block and you got somebody on the other side, and you have eyes all around, and that helps everybody out. And what kind of plans are there in place? Should we look for something? Should we, once if things go this way, we need to execute this plan. We need to do this drill once a week. I think that's a great idea, and I'm all for doing the same thing in my neighborhood. I've been talking to some of my neighbors, and even though we're kind of far apart, I'm sure we need to work out something and get something in place for these tough times coming up.
Well, we need to keep the things at the grassroots level. We need to just take care of our own hood. And I mean, that might sound bad to some folks that I say hood, but I've got great neighbors. I mean, there's a couple of them that I'm concerned about, but it's a good neighborhood. It kind of reminds me of when I was a kid, and I'm 57 years old right now. And when you used to ride your bicycles up and down the street, you'd hear all the country music coming from all the garages. We just went out, and you need to get your kids out there and get them away from the dang computer, and away from their Wii, and you need to kick them out of the house and just tell them to go discover bugs, discover the sky, discover the trees. I mean, I am a Christian, and it's just read your Bible, okay? But you got to read it from front to back. You can't just pick out what you like and know what you don't like. But I do like to get along with my neighbors because they're my compadres. They're my people. Know where I'm coming from?
Yeah. So, do you guys have any get-togethers as well over there, like kind of a fellowship or to bring people closer together, or how is it that you just Talk to your neighbors, just
get involved in your local church. I mean, I'm a Presbyterian, but I do not lock myself into that. I like to be open to the Baptist. I am a staunch Christian, okay? And when it comes to gay stuff, that's fine. Just don't flaunt it on me. And none of them do. I have plenty of friends who are of the alternative sexual persuasion. And, I mean, we just need to be accepted and acceptable. But also, let me point this out. This whole country was founded on Christianity. I mean, Israel and America are the last Christian places on earth. Israel obviously isn't Christian because they're Jewish. I mean, they go with the Old Testament. We go with the Old Testament. Well, we go mainly with the New Testament, but we need to go with the Old Testament and the New Testament. I mean, that's the whole point of the Bible. Is the First Testament is Judaism, and the Second Testament is Christianity. And, they've always just agreed with us, and we've always agreed with them. And Israel, it's in our own Bible. I may be wrong, okay? And if you think that I am wrong, you just come on and say it.
Well,
yeah.
Got baby in
hey,
the background.
sweetie.
I agree with you, and at this point, we do need to be in prayer. 100%. You'll not get an argument out of me on that. I don't believe that we can continue to live in a nation that's divided. We have got to find a way to unite this nation. Your heart should be as wretched at the grievance that you suffer, the injustices that you're suffering. It should be equally as grieved at the souls that are going to perish eternally in this battle that is ahead of us. And the ones that are being lost as we speak, I know I fight daily with my rage and anger. I'm very angry about what's going on. And I'm human. And I'm very angry about the division. I'm angry about the attacks on the white Judeo-Christians. I'm angry about the Muslims. I'm angry. And I should be living a life of joy.
You are living a life of joy. Trust me, you are living a life of joy.
Yeah,
Jesus
this is my day.
Allow you to live a life of joy as long as you choose that path.
Yes. And I know I've been appointed for this time. The Lord spared me from many things, one of them being a terminal brain tumor 18 years ago in the middle of a prayer. I was not healed by way of medicine. And my doctors were astounded. I was already ashen and gray when the Lord answered my prayers. In fact, I wasn't praying to be healed anymore. I was praying to die. I didn't want to do this anymore. I couldn't fight my battle anymore. I didn't want to. I didn't have the will to do so. And he spared me, and I do believe it was for this time and for me to be in the position that I'm in today and to be able to have that influence and awakening for people, to warn them about the dangers they're facing. He gave me discernment, and I exercised that discernment, and I've been pretty much 98% dead on for the past 6 years in that discernment. If I tell you the sky is blue, I've done my homework, and my spirit has been moved to tell me danger, danger, warning, warning. You could almost take that to the bank and cash that check. So I agree we need to start at grassroots level. I believe that we need to, at this point in Texas, not be in a position of trying to take the long road, if you will, to see the state. We are the only state in the union that has the capability to dissolve that partnership with America, with the federal government, and once again become a true republic and regain our sovereignty, to undo the things that have been done. But we're going to have to do that by demand, because I believe that our local government, our state government has been hoarded out for way of federal funding, and that we're truly being dictated and controlled by a UN or a foreign entity that is controlling our American government.
We need to kick the UN out of the United States.
Absolutely.
We need to be sovereign. And state sovereignty was guaranteed under the Constitution, okay?
Yeah.
That was the original concept of the War of Northern Aggression, which was put forth by a president who killed how many people in the United States died because of the Northern War of Aggression coming down and saying, no, you can't secede, even though the Constitution allows us to secede, because each state is a separate entity. That was the whole point. Each state is a separate entity.
It was his own
country. They did not want to go with the Union. I mean, we're talking 130 years ago. Now we're doing it again. What do you think?
You're correct, sir. And a lot of people think that war was about slavery, and it was not. Slavery was used as a tool. You're absolutely correct.
It had to do with taxation. I mean, look at the original. When we got away from the British, that was a 3% tax. And the Townsend Act, you're talking about, they just kind of reduced it to try to get enough. I even have an uncle, God rest his soul, because I am not an American. I'm a first-generation Scot in these states. And I even had an uncle who was still pissed off in 1998 about our going against the Brits, who were waging a war, I believe it was against the French. Correct me if I'm wrong. And they were trying to get us, the 13 colonies, to pay for their war when it had nothing to do with us. I mean, we wanted sovereignty. Did we not? And we still want that today.
Absolutely. If we have any listeners out there, I'm getting some messages in Facebook and by text that would like to speak, please press number 1, raise your hand, let me know that you have something to interject. We're covering several issues today. If you don't know the call-in number, it's 929-477-3565, 929-477-3565. We're covering many issues today. Is America facing another civil war, sir? I think that we are. I do.
Hey, Becky.
Yes, sir.
Hey, I'm going to have to get off here right quick, get off the air.
All right.
But I just wanted to wish John and Hannah Avila, just talk to them and tell them congratulations. They just got married today. It's a brand new couple here in South Texas. My cousin. I'm very proud of them. And with that, I'm just going to have to let you guys go and enjoy myself at this festivity here.
Fantastic, brother. Tell him congratulations, Ray. And you enjoy your evening, brother. Thank you for coming on. I love you, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Love you too, sis. Talk to you later.
All right. That was Rudy. He brought a very interesting document to my attention the other day concerning establishing BOSS, which is our military-grade training facility that myself and my business partner have opened up on Matagorda Island, where we employ vets first. We had stated we were employing vets only, but the master instructor for the EMT Base 1 course that we're going to be able to teach on the island, it carries the ability to take the state test on that and carry a state certification for an EMT 1 is a civilian. So I have to correct myself. We want folks to know we do hire vets first for our training facility, but he brought a document to my attention. He's one of our trainers. And he brought a document to my attention that would allow us, if we had one law enforcement officer that was certified, I think the certification is TCLOSE, I believe is what it is. I may have some of those acronyms scrambled, but anyway, they have the capability to arrest individuals. We only need one, employed by boss in order to operate and receive surplus military property free of charge for our organization. And we are going to propose, and I'm going to go ahead and announce that today, because our mission is to train up proficient first responders that come to the island and train. That is our mission, is to assure that you are, in whatever courses you've taken, that you're proficient enough to be a first responder in that area, whether it's a man-made or natural disaster. And what we're going to do, I have Judge Reed Chambers, who's not able to join us today. Pardon me, Judge Chambers was my political strategist and advisor and legal advisor when I stood up to run to succeed Texas as governor in this last election. He's working with me to put the paperwork together, present to the Texas government as a entity that would take the place of FEMA. We want FEMA out of Texas. It's a federally run organization that's truly run by the UN. We want them out. We want to make BOSS the replacement for FEMA for natural disasters. But we also, we are going to propose to the governor and to the senior and junior senators of Texas, Cruz and Corrin, that they would allow us to bring the homeless veterans off the street, get them cleaned up, and employ them to be our border patrol, removing DHS and their regulations, their federal regulations, to have our borders wide open. And we would like to train them on the island for that and have the state fund the new program and break away from that federal funding for FEMA and DHS Border Patrol. So what say you people? What do you think about that, Connie?
I think it's an awesome idea, Becky.
Well, that's the direction that we're going. We originally had started BOSS to reach out to the vets and give them gainful employment and also be a benefit to the agencies to send their folks out to train. We teach everything from long and short-range shooting to hand-to-hand combat disarmament, survivalist program, food, fire, water, and shelter, endurance, field medic / basic EMT 1 course, and we have an engineer right now that's designing the endurance course. So we teach a number of things for different areas for agencies, but we're the only facility that offers some of those courses to civilian population, of course, with a different application for entry for the civilians if they're going to be doing a weapons class, but they're still welcome to do that class. So we'll do a little bit different evaluation on being able to bring them on the island to do those things. But why not? Why not take BOSS, turn it into, we're trying to succeed Texas. We need to demand it at this point. We're going to have our own preparedness organization that can swoop in, if you will, and relieve the people in duress after a disaster. And we need that border secure. And we have so many homeless veterans that
I totally
ridiculous. Agree. And if you take
and they would
the
be proud to
regulated,
be offered that opportunity.
Absolutely. You take the regulated militia, you take those homeless veterans, you get them trained up properly and follow the same ROE or standard operating procedure, their SOP, and have the governor dictating truly what goes on our border rather than having a dictator, a usurper, and a Muslim Brotherhood that has opened the gateway to hell on America by way of our border. I think we could secure that and exercise the same rights that foreign countries exercise, which means we'll shoot you if you come across. If you attempt to come across illegally, we have to assume that you're an enemy combatant. You're coming across uninvited. You're an enemy combatant. You have ill will in mind. We'll give you an opportunity to turn around and go back. But if we catch you coming across, we're going to exercise a little bit of different right, which is our right per our state documents to assure that the state is not invaded by a foreign country. and we just removed the federal.
We have enough time to put all this into place.
Well, we're working diligently in getting this put together. The judge and I will be working all week on the documents and the financials to show the benefit. And then we're going to present it.
Each and every one of us out here in Texas, we need to go every week and spend $20 on canned goods in case we do war. Who's going to feed our men?
Canned goods and dry goods. That'd be a great idea. Powdered milk, sugar, salt. Salt cures meat.
Yes. And we should do it by
homes. Yes, absolutely. It should be broken down. Pardon me?
You need to. Y'all in Texas. I'm in Lower Alabama. I don't have the problem where you've got people coming across your border, because the border is in Texas and Nevada and California, is it not? I mean, if you own property there along the border, you need to take it to the grassroots level and defend that property and keep those illegals from coming across. I mean, the federal government is not going to enforce the legal immigration laws that we have in place. We need to stop. We need to take a look, and we need to just stop this coming across our border stuff at the grassroots level. I mean, I'm sorry that I don't live in South Texas, that I don't have property down there where I can say, okay, this is my border right here. We need to protect our borders, and we need to rely on our cattlemen that are on the Texas border to maintain the border themselves, because we cannot trust our state government. We cannot trust the Texas state government. And we cannot trust the federal state government to secure those borders. We're going to have to do it ourselves.
Well, we've failed at that for a couple of reasons. Law enforcement binds the hands. We've got a gentleman down here, Casey Massey, who is facing federal arms charges as we speak, and he was set up because he was making a difference in turning people away from that border. We've got a couple of things going on here. First of all, no, sir, you're not on the border, but they have shipped them into your state. I can assure you that they have. By the hundreds of thousands, they're shipping them everywhere. So we know that the invasion through our border is affecting your state. Now, the other thing that we've got going on here is in a federal court, one of our ranchers for shooting a foreign invader who had ventured onto his property down there in Texas, and I don't happen to have that article in front of me, but you can look it up, actually went to prison for firing on a foreign invader that had come on his ranch, and it wasn't one, it was 4, I believe was the number, that posed threat to him. And when he exercised his right to stop that madness, then he faced trial and he went to jail for it. So we have a couple of things going on. We've got local law enforcement down there that are corrupt and bought off by the drug cartel. And we all know that the drug cartel has been funded by our own American government and the Mexican government. We have another thing that we need to worry about, and that's the fact that someone from Governor Christie from the East Coast is meeting with the Mexican president. We have several governors or political figures that have gone into Mexico or met with the Mexican president here in America. Now, what the hell does Governor Christie have to do with the Mexican government?
Good question.
So,
good question.
Yeah.
What has Governor Christie got to do with it? Don't even start me on Governor Christie.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Yeah, but see, we have a bunch of problem here because we know that for many years our
Governor
U.S.
Christie is New Jersey, right? Is Governor Christie New Jersey? What the heck does New Jersey have to do with Texas? And I live in Alabama.
Yeah, well, what does he have to do with the Mexican government? Why is he having meetings with the president of Mexico? I mean, what is that all about? So, and
they're up there in New England.
Yeah,
he's up there in New England.
Well, so we know that the Obama phones were financed. That program was a co-op program that was put together with a Mexican billionaire. So that free Obama phone that's costing everybody I pay $18 a month on my AT&T phone bill, so that some whodunit can have 4 or 5 Obama phones.
Obama minor. Obama. Yeah. We're not talking about Obama. We are talking about our administration. Okay.
Yeah.
Now Obama has gotten over on our administration, and he's pushed it to the point where, this whole country was founded on Christianity and Judaism, okay? This whole country, that's what it was founded on. And what the fuck does this usurper have to do with coming in here and saying oh, Lord. Go ahead.
We're not a Christian nation. Hey, I've got...
we are
Fletcher.
A Christian nation.
I take every ounce of it. Brother Fletcher's got his hand up. Hey, Terry, how are you doing?
Good evening, Miss Becky. Y'all, you were pretty much hearing or what the man was, or what you had said to the gentleman from Lower Alabama. If that's the same guy talking, we are all in deep shit.
Yep.
New Jersey. Upstate New York, Anchorage. I don't care what state in this country, even Hawaii. We're in trouble. They are fighting men. It's been tens of thousands, and now it's hundreds of thousands. An onslaught. We are, like you keep saying, Becky, we are being invaded. We are invaded, not being. It's a declaration of war.
Yes, sir, and we are at war, and there are many facets to war, whether they wage war on us through taxation, extortion, and I say that back to back because that's truly what it is extortion, whether it be through the GMOs that we're feeding our children that are poisoning their little bodies, and we're seeing them die in the children's hospitals from diseases they should have never had, to the vaccinations that they're poisoning. I asked this question before on my show. I come over to your house. You have no other means of eating unless I bring the food to you. So I bring the food over, and I've made you a nice dinner, and it looks real delicious, and it tastes real nice, and it smells real good. And I say, go ahead, feed your family, eat till you're full. Whatever you need, I'm going to provide it for you. I'm going to make sure that you have access to it. Now, I'm going to leave your house. When I get down the street, I'm going to call you back, and I'm going to say, by the way, I just fed you poison. What the hell are you going to do to me? What are you going to do to me because I just poisoned you and your family?
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? You're most likely going to kill me. You're going to come after me, and if you don't kill me, you're going to make me wish I was dead. Now, why is it that we sit here every day and we drink poison water and we eat poison food and we feed little Timmy and little Barbara that corn of cob that I put on my back porch for 3 days that a coon wouldn't touch? He'd tear my garbage up and eat everything else, but he wouldn't touch that ear of corn. This is a true story. For 3 days, it sat out there on top of the smoker, and he wouldn't have no part of it. I was trying to deter him from my trash can. And I put chicken, ribs, and some corn out there from barbecue I had, and he ate the ribs. I had a little wading pool that my puppy get out there because it's hot here. He'd get out there and play in the water on the patio when I have him tied up. And, coons like to wash their food. I found the bones to the chicken and to the ribs in the pool, so he went over and washed his food, and he ate it. That corn he didn't touch. Tore my garbage can up, though. You see what I'm saying?
GMOs.
Why the hell?
Yep.
Why are we still? Yeah, why the hell are we still sitting here? If an animal knows not to eat it, we have no choice but to eat it. Why are we still sitting here? Why are we still going to the refrigerator and eating it? Pardon?
It's slow acting.
Yeah.
I was in conversation with a lady today at a small town store. They serve sandwiches and breakfast biscuits, gravy, and stuff. And called it a dead moment when there's nobody around. Jan and I went in and we ordered some food. And I got to talk to her. She come over and sit down. Real humble, nice, old-fashioned Christian country girl. Old-fashioned, give me that old-time religion type. And I started let her into conversation because some people, you got to be careful. If you go too fast or too abrupt with the knowledge that you have, they immediately shut down.
You're right.
They don't want to hear it. But I was slow about it, and I started out with the Bundy Ranch situation. She said, I've heard something about that last year. And then I started in with BLM, the federal attack on the property, how the United Nations, they've given control of the United Nations over every aspect of our lives. Every movement, I don't give a damn what it is. Any move you make out here, as far as commerce or food, whatever, they have it. It's through their agenda. And people are, and I look at this lady, I say, but people don't realize what's happening. And I was going to give her your number, the Block Show number, but I didn't get around to it. And people, I'm just astounded, blown away at the ignorance of people I run into. It's very seldom. I might run into 1 out of 10 that is fully aware.
Right.
1 out of 10. Okay, so that 3% stands true today, I guess. 3% is not a lot when you think of the millions of people in this country. I don't know how many we got. They keep saying 320, 350 million. I don't know. But anyway, 3% is a state of mind. It's, you can call it an organization, whatever. I think the 3%, to me, it's more in line with the Minuteman. Those that are aware, stay in tune, and are ready to react at a moment's notice. Like Miss Revere, Becky, you spread the word the best you can, and the frustration, we're all with it. But on this 15 is Jade Helm. I think jade, that's a color, is it not?
Yes.
Green. Okay. In the Bible, it talks about the pale horse. And that pale horse, I think he's greenish, and it's Islam. And this thing that's happening on this Jade Helm 15, this is a huge
No,
sign.
pale horse is not Islam. That is biblical. It is what we're going to be judged by. The pale horse is not Islam. It doesn't work that way. Okay?
Well, how's it work then?
Sorry, I've got to plug this in. Christianity is something different. You need to read your Bible from the front to the back. You can't be accepting of different sects of the Christian nation to tell you what the Bible says. You need to read it yourself and to make your own decision.
Okay, well then what is the pale horse?
And
if it's not
that's
Islam,
from the Bible, you need to look that up.
Well, you're telling me to look it up. I'm asking you, what do you see it as?
I don't know. You just threw that at me. I haven't had time to look it up. All right.
Okay. All right, but anyway, it's with the invasion that's going on, especially at the border of the Texas state being red. Nevada, we've already seen what they're trying to do out there, and the rest, of what's going on. Everybody going, well, I'm waiting on that first shot. Fuck. First shot? How many shots do you need to hear? I don't know what else to do. I got out in the middle of nowhere here, and I what am I going to do? I can't make it to Texas. I can't make it out west. I can't go stand with them like that response team Bohart talked about. Mr. Bohart, your neighborhood response teams. I'm thinking here earlier, I'm talking to Jan, and I'm kind of listening to the show at the same time and trying to eat. But I'm looking around my new neighbors here, and I know one. That's the landlady about 500 yards from me. And the rest of them, they're probably 500, 600, 800 yards away. And I don't know one of them, but that's going to change here within this next week. Those response teams, like I think this gentleman just talking, said, police your own neighborhoods. Like I can't get to Texas, I can't get to Southern California, I can't get out there. I just can't do it. So I have to make best what I can do here. And you were mentioning a while ago, Becky, if I may touch on this, on preparation. You mentioned salt, flour, spices, honey lasts forever. They found it in the Egyptian tombs, 4,000 years old. Stirred it up, added a little water, and it was good. Salt, you can buy salt, sea salt at the Dollar Tree. I don't know if y'all have them out there, but they're everywhere. Okay, you can get a pound of sea salt for $1.
What do you have in your bug-out bag? What do you have in your bug-out bag?
What I have? Basically, what I need is an infantry.
Because probably don't really want to say it out, because none of us really want to say it out, because it becomes, they know that this is how we're prepared, and we do not want to let them know how we are prepared. So don't answer that question.
Did anybody?
I don't give a motherfuck what they know what I got.
From
I don't care.
In 2012, Obama's already signed the martial law. He just hadn't put it into effect. They can come take your cattle. They can take your land. They can take your food. When he puts it into effect, you better have safe places to store your stuff.
True. Yep. That's a good point, Connie. But it's not, but like the man said, it's not cool to get out here and blaze what you have, or
what you have,
like that.
or
Me, I
your
have
weapons
a minimum,
or anything else.
Yeah, I need a good gun.
Don't get your weapons in a safe place, not in your house.
Well, everybody needs to sound off. Damn all the fear.
You get locked up because you don't want your 8-year-old getting in there and playing with it.
So that's true. That's true.
Food, water,
a lot of good information and a lot of good points.
And you've got to keep your 8-year-old even, to know firearms. I mean, if you've got firearms, okay, every family member in the household needs to know how to properly handle a firearm. I mean, when I was
totally
a kid,
agree.
If you saw 2 teenagers walking up the street with 22 rifles, you never gave it a second thought, because you knew that your junior high school was teaching them firearm safety. I mean, that's all I got to say.
Well, I believe that's something that needs to be implemented, and that was part of my platform as well as running for governor, is that we reinstate a course, a one-day course, like we had to take. It wasn't all day, but we had law enforcement or a soldier would come into our classrooms and teach us gun safety.
We were required to practice gun safety. But it was a requirement when I went to junior high school that we had to go in there to get our hunting license before our 17th birthday or something, to go hunt deer or rabbit or whatever. But we had to have firearm safety before we could be able to do that. And it was a very good program. It was basically military run. And when I was in the military, I mean, we were taught, respect for the firearm. Yeah,
definitely. Well, we have a program that we're going to offer for juniors on the island with the weapons instructor. We have in our midst, our trainers, we have ex-Blackwater, we have ex-Berets, we have Rangers. We've got top-of-the-notch trainers that are stepping up and taking those positions for us on the island. And I'm proud to say that. And while you gentlemen were speaking,
when I was trained redneck style.
Absolutely.
I'm 57 years old, and that's how I was trained. Redneck style, you don't shoot your buddy there because you're pissed off at him in the moment. You're out hunting.
You know what? Back in the day, and I'm not much younger than you, back in the day, you beat the hell out of each other, and you're best friends the next day. Today, the youth of America have no respect for life, their own or anyone else's, and we're seeing it across the board. And I believe two things. I believe that if you remove the minority button, people quit paying attention to color. I believe if you remove the minority button, people will quit paying attention to color. I believe that if you threw a hammer down on the content, lyrics of music that is fed to our children, and to the content of the sexual content and otherwise violence on your primetime television, can't really dictate the movies. That's up to the parents. They really need to pay attention to what's going on. But make it so outrageously expensive to give the license to air those type of programs and music content that it wouldn't even be cost effective for it to be done. So you didn't have to worry about it being brain-fed to your children. You as a parent would have to then establish your own responsibility to make sure that your children are brought up with proper morals and respect for themselves and others. That would eliminate a lot of the crimes and the problems we have on the street and the baby mama daddy and the welfare issues, and take the welfare program out. 4 days out. If you're on welfare, it's for X amount of time, and that's it. You got one shot at this. And for 4 hours out of the day, you work for the state doing something, and the other 4 hours you're in school or you're being trained for a tech position somewhere, some kind of ability to provide for your family, and then wean them off of welfare. We don't have generations of welfare riders. We don't have the strain on the state, and we don't have the problems in the streets. There's so many ways that we could clean up society, and it might take some time to get back to where it needs to be so that we could all coexist without worrying about going down to the grocery store and getting knocked out because I'm white by some little black punk, which almost happened to me at a Kroger one night, and I told him I'd gladly put him in a box, but I said it in a little bit different manner, that I wasn't his victim. There's a lot of things that we could do as a nation or as a state, or even and like you said, start grassroots level. While I was, you guys were talking a while ago, I was in the kitchen putting my dinner on, and I'm going to go down and play with my grandson, who, by the way, is black. So when y'all see me use the N-word, N-word means ignorant and uneducated, and it comes in all colors. And I was pretty angry earlier about a situation on a bus. Or on a train that a white person suffered at the hands of some little black thugs. But anyway, I'm going to go down and play with my little baby down at the park in a minute. But my business partner called me and Connie, this is going to be
the N-word is ninny. Okay?
Yeah, pretty much. They're just ignorant. They're ignorant as hell, and it comes in all colors.
We don't do that shit. We don't do nigger.
Yeah.
They're ninny. I mean, they don't have to be black. They don't have to be white. They don't have to be mulatto.
You're right. They can be any color. Can be any damn color. I'm not prejudiced. I don't like any of it. I don't pick on one gender or color. I'll pick on all genders and colors whenever I feel it's wanted. But anyway, Connie, this is going to be of interest to you. I was just talking about what we're going to do with BOSS and how we're going to present it to the state. My business partner called while the gentlemen were talking, Terry and Will were discussing the pale horse a while ago, and I clicked over, and we now have secured not one but two police chief and a deputy sheriff down in Galveston that have agreed to be that law enforcement that we're going to be required to have employed through BOSS in order to obtain the status we need to obtain to eventually present replacement of FEMA and to receive the surplus of supplies and equipment from the military.
Wonderful, Becky.
That's great news. So I'm going to end today's show on a high because that was an obstacle we really had to bridge before we could move forward. So praise God, man. They're all about it. Thank you. So you guys, God has given me this platform. I didn't win the race, but it sure gave me a great audience. We have now surpassed 30 countries who listen to Rage Against the Regime. We had over 13,000 live listeners on last night's show. We're averaged 500,000 live listens last year, so we are gaining ground. And I'm so thankful because I'm nothing without you guys. If you weren't out there working with me and listening to this old woman ramble on, I can't say old woman. Hell, I love you too. You know, I'm a cougar. I'm not a saber-toothed tiger yet because I have more than 2 teeth left. So I'm still a cougar. That's the joke around here. But I want to thank you guys for coming on the show and expressing your opinions, concerns, and sharing your facts with the listening audience. If we can wake them up, we maybe can save a little bit of this country. But I honestly don't believe we're going to be able to save the whole country. I believe we're going to have to do this at a state level. And I believe that at the end of the day, before it's all said and done, we're going to have people defending borders that aren't even from our state, brothers and sisters that are going to come when they're called. I have every faith that that's going to happen. The problem is, I think a lot of them are going to wait until it's too late to take action. That's my pardon.
One day at a time, Becky. That's all we can hope for.
Yes, ma'am. Well,
and the more people that realizes, the better off we're gonna be.
Mhm.
So.
Oh wow, yeah, I do too. Well, I want to thank my panel today. I appreciate it again, the interaction, and I had some technical issues at the beginning of the show. I didn't get to promote the show like I needed to. I laid down and took a nap and slept a little bit too long this afternoon. But I want to thank you. I love each and every one of you. Pray for me. Pray for Texas. Pray for each other. Pray for this country. And I'll have a show tomorrow, 1 p.m., covering the CPS issues, the child trafficking, and the ties to the municipal courts. It is a money-making operation. When they take your children, it's not always children that are removed that need to be removed from a home. They're kidnapping our kids. Our babies are being murdered in the foster care system, and they are being trafficked, in some cases completely missing. CPS doesn't even know where they are. They're being taken out of the country and used as sex slaves. So we're going to be covering some issues tomorrow at 1 p.m., so until then, I want to thank everybody for listening, and God bless each and every one of you.
God bless you, Becky. Good night.
All right. Good night. You have a good night. Thank you, Will, for coming on, brother. I enjoyed it. Thank you, Terry. Y'all have a blessed evening. Go enjoy your family.
Here.